Hello students, how are you? Well, in the last two modules we have been completing about forest and the causes, effects and how we can stop the action of deforestation. Well, in this module, the last module of the chapter, we are going to learn about fossil fuels. Students, I guess you must be remembering that in chapter number 5 we had completed about fossil fuels. How is it extracted and how it is utilized and what are the other uses. But here in this chapter we are going to learn the consequences of over extraction of the fossil fuels. That means what if we do not stop extraction of fossil fuels for a longer period of time, because we already know that fossil fuels are non-renewable or it is exhaustible. That means after a certain period of time it would get exhausted. So let us see what are the other consequences. So the consequence of over extraction of fossil fuels are air pollution. When coal and petroleum are burnt as a fuel, they give off carbon dioxide and it acts as a greenhouse gas which leads to in turns of global warming. Such pollutants will also give as fly ash, unburnt hydrocarbons that produce pollutants in the air. Where the second consequence is exhaustion of the existing reserves. Fossil fuels, as we know, are depleting in the earth and this may create energy crisis in the immediate future or in the present rate the way we are consumption of fossil fuels is done. Well, over extraction of the fossil fuels may also become a threat to the organisms as it may create or it may release dangerous substances into the environment which in turns may settle down on the water, and consumption of this unburnt or the dangerous poison by the water animals may create the unwanted diseases in them. Well, we got to know a lot about the over extraction of the fossil fuels. Let us see the video and understand what are renewable resources.
Renewable energy. We obtain energy from two different sources: renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. Today we're going to learn about renewable energy sources. Renewable energy refers to all those limitless energy sources present in nature. The sun, the wind, the force of water, or the inner heat of the earth are examples of renewable energy sources. These energy sources are present in nature and are naturally replenished. That's why they never run out. These are some of the most well-known renewable energy types. Solar energy comes from the sun and reaches us as light and heat. For example, thanks to these solar panels, we can capture sunlight energy and transform it into thermal energy to heat water in this house. Eolic energy comes from the movement of air or the wind. For example, these windmills transform wind into electric energy. Tidal wave energy comes from the movement of sea waves or when tides change from high to low, and vice versa. Hydraulic energy is produced by the water we store in reservoirs or artificial lakes. Look at this dam! Water falls over from a high spot, then it flows through the hydroelectric factory, where the force of the water is transformed into electric energy. Geothermal energy is generated from the heat stored in the earth. This type of energy is used for heating a house or generating electricity, for example. Let's look at some of the main advantages of renewable energies. They are environmentally friendly because they don't emit CO2 or greenhouse effect gases. They are limitless because they are obtained from natural resources that don't run out and replenish naturally. They are safer for our health because they don't generate toxic residues harmful for people. There is no doubt that renewable energies have many advantages, but there are disadvantages as well. Renewable energy resources are not found everywhere in the world. Countries with shorter daylight hours cannot produce as much solar energy as other parts of the world. Obtaining renewable energy can be random or variable because it depends on natural phenomena that we cannot always predict. For example, the amount of rainfall. To reach the world energy objectives and help take care of the environment, it's indispensable to accelerate the transition to renewable energies.